Okay. So everybody mute yourself during this part of it. If you have a question, you can unmute and just ask your question, and I will stop and answer it. So I'm gonna do a lot of talking. I will stop every once in a while to see how you guys are doing, check in, see if you have any questions, but feel free to pop in with a question if you have one. Hold on. All right, so we're going to talk about tonight, I want to go a little more in depth into the law of vibration, law of attraction, and how it affects us. So Bob Proctor touches on both of these throughout Thinking Into Results, but I don't think he goes in depth as much as he could. And so I wanted to just help you guys have a better understanding of what's going on, why our thoughts are so important in what we create in our life. So, you know, some of you have heard me say this. These are the two most important concepts that I feel you should focus on and understand. Number one, you become what you think about most of the time. This is a common thought in all of the success books that are out there. Think and Grow Rich, Science of Getting Rich. All of the big name personal development people talk about the fact that we are a product of our thinking. So really keep that in mind and be very, very conscious of the thoughts that you're allowing to hold your attention. And then the second thing is that nothing is more important than that you feel good. So you want to be in a positive mindset as much as possible. And that doesn't always feel like an easy task, but the more that you understand the importance of that statement, the more that you will be dedicated to finding that better feeling thought whenever possible. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 4 of the universal laws. First one is law of vibration. So law of vibration states that everything is energy. All energy vibrates at a specific frequency, and energy is always in motion. So scientists, they used to say that there were 2 things. There was energy and there was matter, but they've come to understand that matter is just energy at a higher speed of vibration. So anything that feels solid really is just energy vibrating extremely fast to cause the solidity of the thing. So the forms that things are in are caused by the frequency of the vibration that they're in. So law of vibration really determines the frequency of things. So all energy is vibrating, and we interpret vibration with our senses and with our mind. So I'll get into that in a little bit. Law of attraction. So Bob has always said that law of vibration is the primary law and law of attraction is the secondary law. And I think that that's pretty accurate, but I want you to think about it just a little bit differently. So law of attraction states that that which is like unto itself is drawn. Law of attraction is the manager of vibrations. So everything is vibrating. Law of attraction brings together things that vibrate on similar frequencies. So it really manages the vibrations of what's out there and takes into account where things are vibrating and then causes the attraction of those things. So all energy is vibrating on specific frequencies, like I mentioned. And when you are in harmony with specific things, those things are drawn to you. And it's based on the length of your focus. So if you're focused negatively, you're going to attract negative things. If you're focused positively, you're going to attract positive things. That's just the way law of attraction works. A lot of people will say, well, law of attraction doesn't work for me, or law of attraction is a bunch of BS. I saw that today. Someone posted that law of attraction is BS. And I thought, well, how funny is that? It's working perfectly for you because you're focused negatively and that's what they're getting. The law of conservation of energy. So energy cannot be created or destroyed. Energy just is. All things that ever were or ever will be already exist. You cannot destroy. We haven't tapped into hardly even in just a small amount of what is available out there for us. But if you look at how things have progressed in the last 100 years, the last 50 years, the last 10 years, you see all these new things coming to be. All those things were already here. Someone was just able to translate the vibration of it into a thought and an idea. So that's where law of vibration and law of attraction come in. So energy can move through different forms, but it cannot be destroyed. And there's a constant flow of energy all around us and through us all the time. Law of cause and effect. For every effect, there's a definite cause, and likewise, for every cause, there is a definite effect. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions create specific effects that manifest and create your life as you know it. So your thought process follows the universal law of cause and effect. Everything that you think and feel or do will cause some effect. So your thought is a cause, and the effect is the result that you get. So positive attitude, positive thoughts, positive actions, positive results. That's the cause and effect. Same thing, negative attitude, negative thoughts, feelings, actions, negative results. It's just the way it is. Okay, so understanding you. This is the stick person for those of you who haven't studied thinking into results yet. This is, we think in pictures, and we need to have a picture of something to understand it. And since the mind really isn't a thing and no one has ever seen the mind, we don't have a clear picture of it. And when we don't, it's difficult for us to understand how to change it. And so back in 1934, there was a chiropractor by the name of Dr. Thurman Fleet, he was a holistic chiropractor, so he was treating the whole person. He realized that his patients needed to start shifting things going on in their mind in order to make the changes in their body. And so that he could help them, he created the stick person as a representation of the mind. And it seems very, very simplistic, but it's an extremely powerful graphic. And you'll see that as we go further into this. So we have the two circles. The top circle represents the mind. The bottom circle represents the body. The top half is our conscious mind, which is our intellectual or our thinking mind. The bottom half is the subconscious, which is our emotional or our feeling mind. And then we have the body. And then we also have these 5 antennae that represent our 5 senses. And our 5 senses are constantly bombarding our conscious mind with stimuli from the environment. It's giving information to our conscious mind to interpret. So, like I said, energy is everywhere. Everything is energy. It's flowing to and through us all the time. And the conscious mind takes in that constant flow of energy, and knowing that energy cannot be created or destroyed, which was that law of conservation of energy, it can move through different forms. And so it's flowing into us, and we have the ability with our conscious mind to think, to create dreams, to originate ideas, and to discover solutions. So this is us translating vibration into form here. We're translating vibration into thoughts and creating ideas and dreams and discovering solutions through the vibration that's there. So the solution to every problem is already there. If you can think up a problem, there is a solution for it, and you just tap into that energy to translate it into the vibration of the solution. Okay, so the energy does not have a form until we interpret it into our choice of thought. So we can choose to have a positive thought, we can choose to have a negative thought. And the conscious mind has the ability to accept and reject ideas. And so, we're being bombarded constantly through our senses, through the things we're hearing from other people, through social media, through the TV. And so we have this conscious mind, which is our buffer or our filter, that allows us to say, yes, I want to believe that, or no, I don't want to believe that. And so the ideas that we reject really don't affect us. The ideas that we choose to keep, we start to give emotion to them. So we start to be entertaining that thought over and over, and then we start to get emotionally involved with it, whether it's positively involved or negatively involved. So if it's a positive thought, we're going to feel very good about it. If it's a negative thought, it's going to cause possibly some doubt or worry. So then as we begin to accept those thoughts and ideas, that energy, the vibration, flows into our subconscious mind. So our subconscious mind has to accept everything that's coming from the conscious mind. So this is very key to understand. This is why we want to be very careful about what we decide to let in. Our conscious mind is our first line of defense. We have to decide what we're going to give our attention to, because what we give our attention to over and over again becomes part of our subconscious programming. So a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. So think about that. Whatever beliefs you have are thoughts that you've kept thinking over and over again. It's that repetition that causes the programming in that emotional mind. The subconscious mind can also not distinguish between reality and fantasy. And this is why affirmations work really well. When you're trying to shift the way that you think about yourself, if you create that image of what you want to believe about yourself or what you're capable of, and you entertain that thought over and over, that becomes a new belief. So we have this internal programming. Bob Proctor calls it the paradigm. It is our habits, our beliefs, and our self-image. And this programming is our autopilot, and we perform about 96 to 98% of our day on autopilot. So it's key to understand what's going on in your belief system, because that's going to determine what's happening for you on a regular basis. Your beliefs hold a vibration as well. So your beliefs can be positive and your beliefs can be negative. So as this energy is flowing in through your conscious mind and you're entertaining a positive idea, it's putting your body into a positive vibration. So your body is energy, just like everything else. And it's affected by the thoughts that we're choosing. And so if we're in a positive vibration and we're creating this new belief that's positive, our subconscious will be in a positive vibration as well. Likewise, if you're entertaining ideas that are on the negative side over and over again, and you're implanting a negative belief in there, you're going to be in a negative vibration. And then law of attraction is going to bring things to you that are like that. So that energy then flows into the body. So whether you're in a positive vibration mentally and intellectually and emotionally, or a negative vibration, that's going to affect your body. So the vibration and focus of your thoughts from your conscious mind and the feelings from your subconscious mind determine the physical vibration of the body. So the dominant vibration of the subconscious programming will determine your actions. So you can think thoughts of what you want to do or what you think you should do, but if your subconscious programming is not in harmony with that, it's going to override the conscious thought. So your body is going to take action based on your subconscious programming. And those actions are going to cause a reaction from the things around you, and that's what gives you your results. So the actions you take determine the reaction of the outside forces towards you, which causes your results. So if you are taking actions that are positive, it's going to cause a reaction that's going to attract positivity back to you, and vice versa. So just a quick check-in. Are we doing okay with this? Is everybody getting this? Any questions on this part? Okay. All right. So want you to keep in mind that we live simultaneously on 3 planes of understanding. You are a spiritual being. You have an intellect, and you live in a physical body. Both science and theology agree that we have unlimited potential and we are continuously evolving. So we have this ability to tap into that spiritual side of things. That's where that flow of energy is. And that's what we tap into to start that process of attraction. So just think about everything, you know, how much we've progressed in the last 1,000 years, in the last 100 years, in the last year. We've progressed because people have desired something different, and they have reached into that higher plane of thought and energy to pull in those new ideas. We have electricity because of the people before us that were desiring to have a better way of powering things. We have light in the evenings that isn't a candle because Thomas Edison desired to make an incandescent light bulb, and we've perfected and evolved that light bulb over time, and now we have LEDs which use so much less energy and they last a lot longer. So we're continuously building on the former ideas, and all of the you know, when Thomas Edison created that incandescent light bulb, the ability to create the LED was already there, but he didn't have the awareness to reach for that thought yet. And so he had the awareness to reach for the incandescent light bulb. That's the level of awareness he was at, that he could do that. And as that was built, then somebody else decided, well, we could make that better. And then somebody else decided we could make that better. And it just on and on and on. And that's how we progressed. You know, we're not driving around horse and buggy anymore because somebody decided that we needed a horseless carriage, a car, and they built that. And the cars have been perfected as we go along. This is how law of vibration and law of attraction works. You decide that you want to create something more than what you have. You know, that's what we're here for. We're here to create. We're here to progress and to expand who we are and what we do. So when you think about the spiritual, intellectual, and physical side, your mind is connected to the spiritual plane through your ability to translate the energy, the vibration into thoughts and feelings. And your ability to reason with the thoughts and feelings is done through your intellect. You have a physical body that translates the vibration that you're in, and also through the senses, and takes action based on your thoughts and feelings and your subconscious programming. So all three planes of understanding are interconnected in how we operate in all things. Okay, so think of these lines as levels of vibration or frequencies. You know, so if you think about radio stations, all radio stations are all on different frequencies, and you tune in to the particular station you want to listen to, and then you get to hear their programming. So there are infinite levels of vibrations or frequencies. All energy has a frequency, and we attract frequencies in harmony with our thoughts and emotions, whatever our focus of those is. So that's our point of attraction. So the highest positive emotion you can focus on is joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, and appreciation. So think about that. Joy. Happiness is a high vibration. Knowledge, you know, understanding is a high vibration. Feeling empowered is a high vibration. That's where you want to be most of the time. The lowest vibrations are fear, grief, depression, despair, and powerlessness. So when you're feeling very low, you're at a low frequency. When you're feeling high, happy, you're at a higher frequency. So we are somewhere on this emotional frequency scale at any given moment based on our what we're thinking. So we're entertaining positive thoughts and emotions or negative thoughts and emotions at any given moment. You know, but because we are thinking beings, we have this wide array of emotions, and our point of attraction varies greatly. And for most of us, we don't even realize it. because we're thinking beings and we have higher faculties, we have the ability to choose how we perceive things. So most of us perceive things based on the programming that we have, and the programming that we have is based on somebody else's thoughts and feelings that they implanted within us. And so when we start to become more self-aware, that's when we want to be looking at the programming that exists and starting to change that. And that's, you know, what we do with Thinking into Results, is we gain that awareness of how to do that. So we have the ability to choose the focus of our thinking. We have the ability to choose better feeling thoughts. And then understanding that emotions are indicators of whether you're in alignment or not. Each emotion indicates how much energy that you're summoning because of your desire, and how much of that summoned energy you're allowing because of the predominant thoughts and beliefs you're currently holding relative to that desire. So if you're feeling strong emotions, whether positive or negative, that means that your desire is powerfully focused and you're summoning a great deal of energy from spirit, from source, towards that desire. So strong emotions that feel bad, like that depression and fear and anger, indicate that you're offering resistance to your desire. And strong emotions that feel good, like passion, enthusiasm, expectation, love, joy, indicate you're offering no resistance to your desire, or you're allowing. So when you have a desire for something, there's two things that you can do. You can either allow or you can resist, and it's all based on your point of attraction on your emotional scale. And so this is why when I said at the beginning, it's nothing is more important than that you feel good. This is why, because you're allowing more to flow in when you're feeling good, and you're resisting it when you're not. And you have the ability to shift that at any point. So the source energy that you have summoned through your desire, when you are allowing, is not being challenged vibrationally by you. And so that's when you're really fully in alignment with that spiritual side of things. So you really have to think about the focus of your thoughts and your feelings. You know, once you've created this desire, you want to be in alignment with it. You want to be on the frequency of it, because then when you're vibrating on the frequency of the desire, that's when you are allowing law of attraction to match you up with the people, with the things that you need, with the opportunities to make that happen. So this is why study of self is so important. Becoming more and more self-aware allows you to really create that flow of what's coming in. So, you know, Diana talked about this with her win earlier, that she realized that she was causing resistance about the particular topic she was dealing with. And when she let go of that resistance and just allowed, suddenly she got 3 phone calls in one day that she had been waiting for, you know, quite some time to hear anything. So it's super powerful when you can get to that place where you are feeling good and you're allowing and you're not worrying about what's going to happen. When you have that faith and belief, that's when things happen really, really quickly. So that's why, you know, I want you to keep in mind that being in a state of joy or happiness, feeling good, is so important. So the more focused you are in thought and feeling on a specific topic, the more momentum it gains, the stronger the point of attraction. The strong point of attraction brings matching people, things, and opportunities to you. And in order to attract what you desire, you want to have as consistent a point of attraction as you can, moment to moment. So this is why we have a goal to start out the Thinking into Results, because you want to have that thing that you are focused on and building your faith and belief toward, because that's kind of your guiding beacon of your growth as you're moving forward, is feeling the emotions that come from the thought of that desire, that goal, and knowing that if you're feeling anxious about it, you're adding resistance. And when you are feeling faith and knowledge and appreciation of it coming, then you're allowing. So again, nothing is created or destroyed. So what happens is when you have a desire, the moment that you form that idea in your mind, it is created vibrationally. So that's why, Bob talks about, I think it's Picasso who said, I dream my painting and then I paint my dreams. And so really everything is created in the mind first. That's the creation of the desire. And it manifests physically when you can get into harmony with it, when you're vibrating on the same frequency, and law of attraction can bring it to you. So your source, your spiritual side of you is holding whatever it is you want in that vibrational energy. And no one can take it from you. It's there for you because you created it. So you don't ever have to worry about somebody taking something that you want, because it's there for you, and it's the only person who is stopping you or allowing you to have it is you. So joy puts you in alignment with it, and that alignment allows the flow of that vibrational creation into physical form. So the closer you are to that spiritual alignment or that source alignment, the faster you see the vibrational desires become physical. And that's what we call manifestation. Now there's all different levels of manifestation, and I'll talk about those in a little bit. So this is Andrew Carnegie. He is the one who asked Napoleon Hill to write Think and Grow Rich. He really understood these concepts, and he wanted Napoleon Hill to study the most successful people around them to figure out for himself what was really going on. And so one of the things that he said is that any idea that is held in the mind, that is emphasized, that is either feared or revered, will begin at once to clothe itself in the most convenient and appropriate form available. So here's something to keep in mind. When you are building an image of the thing that you want, clarity is very important. You will see evidence of the thing that you focus on, and sometimes it comes in a form that you weren't expecting, and you have to kind of take a look at it and say, is this really what I wanted? And if it isn't quite, it just means you haven't given enough clarity of what you want. So you're getting evidence of the law of attraction bringing to you what you've asked for, and you can decide this is what I wanted, or this isn't quite, and so now I'm going to tweak it and have some clarity. So sometimes that's where some of that negative emotion might come in, where you're like, that's not what I wanted, and you get frustrated. So just take a moment and realize that you have an opportunity for some growth there. So it's not a bad thing. It's just the clarity of what you want wasn't expressed through your feelings quite right. So then you take some time, maybe write out, some fine tuning. I like to call it fine tuning. Okay, well, I like this part of what happened. This part I don't. So what would I like? So you always want to focus on what you like about, or what you want about something. So there are two sides of everything. There is the thing that you want, and there's the lack of the thing that you want. And so if you're receiving something that doesn't fit the desire, that fits more of the lack, then you want to shift your focus onto what you do want. So really take that time to fine tune. And that's why, when we start lesson 1, we're really taking the time to figure out what it is that we want and why we want it, because the feeling behind it, the why behind it, is just as important as the thing itself. And you want to get as clear as possible on your goal as you can. But all through the whole 24 weeks, we're fine-tuning that goal. And so if you don't get it perfect right away, you don't have to worry about it. You're just going to tweak it as you go along. That's the growth. So Bob talks about that the purpose of a goal isn't the goal itself. It's the growth that you have on the way to it. And that's really key. And so you don't want to wait until you achieve the goal to have that joy and to have that appreciation. You want to have that joy and appreciation now of the little things that are manifesting on the way to the big thing. Does that make sense? I'm going to do another check-in now. How is everybody doing? Does anybody have any questions? If you do, go ahead and unmute yourself, and I'm happy to answer. Otherwise, I'll keep going. Okay. Okay, so now you want to ask yourself, where is your primary focus? Are you an allower or you a resistor? Most of us are resistors only because we don't understand what it is that's going on. And so that's why I'm doing this particular call, because I want to really help you understand what law of vibration is, what law of attraction is, and how you are bringing results into your experience. So allowing happens when you feel good. We talked about that. When you are expecting the desire to come, that's key also. So you can want something, but if you don't expect it, it's just a wish. And it's very unlikely that it's going to happen, or it's going to take a lot longer for it to happen. So you have to understand that the ability for you to achieve that thing that you want is there. I'll talk about that a little bit in the next slide, but I want you to just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So when you're feeling joy or gratitude or appreciation for the now, whatever's happening now, you're at that higher vibration or frequency. So resistance happens when you feel bad, when you doubt, when you worry, when you ask, why isn't it here yet? That's another one too, is when we're working towards goals, a lot of times we get impatient. And, it's like, I've been doing all this work. I've been, been focused. Why isn't it here yet? Well, there's another law, universal law of gestation. Everything has its time. And we don't know the answer to that. But we can speed up that timeline by feeling good and not asking, why isn't it here yet? By expecting and believing. And if we're expecting it, we're not asking, why isn't it here yet? Because we know it's coming. So yes.
Sorry, I was just going to say, feel free to use my example since you helped me with that. Feel free to use the example with regard to the VA and this right here, because this is exactly what happened. This is the tweet that feel free to. You don't have to, but it's okay for me. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think it is good.
It is good. It's really good. So, so Diana and myself and another friend, we meet every morning, and we study law of attraction, law of vibration, and we're pretty good at it. But Diana had this one thing that was causing resistance. So like she said, she's a veteran. She's dealing with the VA to try to get the surgery on her foot that she needs, and so she couldn't figure out why. She just couldn't get an appointment, or she couldn't get, and Diana, jump in if I missed the point here. She was frustrated with the fact that things weren't happening in a timely manner. She just wanted this to be done. And this morning, she had the realization, and with our help, that she had a belief that working with the VA was hard. And because that's what you hear in the news all the time, that the VA system is broken, it's not working right, veterans aren't being treated the way they need to be treated. And so she had this belief that it had to be hard. Well, she let go of that this morning and said, okay, you know what? The answer is going to come and it's going to be fine. And I have options. It doesn't have to be this particular route. And when and then when she let go of that, she got 3 phone calls today that were going to move her forward really, really quickly.
Yeah, and I just want to add that I didn't realize I was resisting. And that was the key, because I really thought I was doing all the allowing work. I thought I was working on where I wanted to go. I thought I was visualizing getting my feet all pretty, and I thought I was doing all the work. But Dee Dee pointed out, she says, well, what do you think about the VA? And I was like, she goes, well, you believe that they're hard. We hear it all over the place. I'm like, oh, I do. I do think it's hard. And so I didn't even realize that the core belief was that, and that was overpowering all the other work I was doing. And it was a big deal, very big deal. So if something's not going the way that it should be, it pays to stop and really say, what is going on here? Way deep. Because it was a big change today. That's all. But I just hope that helps you guys. That's all.
Yeah. It was cool. It was really cool.
I also have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't remember where I heard it, but somebody was telling me that if you're taking extremes amount of action to get something, that you may have resistance in there some. How?
Well, so what you want is to align your thoughts and feelings first. You
Right.
want to have that belief that it can happen. And when you have that belief, it allows the inspired thought, which allows the inspired action. So taking action without alignment is harder.
Okay.
Yeah. So and that's what a lot of us do. We're taught, work hard, life is hard. It always has to be hard. We hear hard, hard, hard. Money doesn't grow on trees. All these false beliefs
Mhm.
that cause us to put up our own resistance. And, life isn't meant to be hard, contrary to popular belief. It's meant to be fun and enjoyed. And
Yeah.
when you realize that, that's when you have a much freer flow of ideas for the action you need to take. It takes you
Okay.
to the direction that you want to move in.
Right. And another part of that is, they were saying to kind of relax.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I'm used to go, go, go,
Right.
push, push. And I'm trying to figure out what's relaxing.
Relaxing is just remembering that the answers come and not to worry.
Okay.
Do what you need to do if it feels in alignment. And again, it's not something you're going to instantly know. It's something that you work into. It's that part of that growth on the way to the thing. And so, as you're starting out with your learning process, you're going to have some extra resistance because you're trying to overcome some of these beliefs that you have. And it's going to take time to figure out what beliefs are really hindering. But that's what, that's what working with this program and working with me is. You have the ability to, use me as a sounding board and say, what's going on. And I can, kind of like I did with Diana, well, how do you feel about this thing? And just give you a check-in. So.
Yeah, no, I just started back 2 weeks ago into thinking the results again, just to, go through it. And yeah, I'm on lesson 2 and it's, I don't know. It's definitely doing something great for me. So.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You're at a different level of awareness. So it's going to take you to different thought patterns and stuff. So you're going to see progress really fast now compared to the first time you went through it.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Okay. So the path of least resistance to the physical manifestation of your desire is to really, really want something that you truly believe is possible. Then the question is, how do you do that? So this is the creative process that Bob talks about in lesson 1. When you're setting up your goal, you're starting out with that fantasy, you're entertaining ideas of, oh, I would like this and I would like this. And so then you have these 2 questions that you have to ask yourself. The first one is, am I able? And the second one is, am I willing? So that first question, am I able? Am I able to do this? You have to understand, like we were talking about at the beginning, all energy is already here. All energy that will be or ever was is always present all the time. And so it's just your ability to tap into it that allows it to be there. But if you can build the idea in your mind, the ability to make it happen is there. And so you have to have an unwavering belief that the answer to question 1 is yes. That if I can hold the image of this thing that I want in my mind, the possibility to make it happen is there. That is how all creation has happened. That is how all progress has happened with humans, with the animal kingdom, with the plant kingdom, is that desire for expansion. And when the desire for the expansion comes, the answer to how it happens is already there. And that's where the law of vibration and the law of attraction come in. You are vibrating on a specific frequency. The thing you want is vibrating at a specific frequency. When you raise your belief and understanding, you get in harmony with it, and law of attraction brings what you need to make it happen. That's how this works. So you have to really allow yourself to believe that truth. And again, it's not an overnight thing. When this is a new concept for you, it takes that daily study and dedication to make it happen. So just remember, nothing is created or destroyed. All possibilities exist. Like I said, if you can form the idea in your mind, the answer to achieving it exists. So Then you have to ask yourself question 2, am I willing? Now this is on you. Am I willing to shift my negative emotions to feel good? Remember, there's nothing more important than that you feel good. Am I willing to shift my negative emotions? Am I willing to believe that I can do this? Am I willing to find alignment and allow inspired thought to take me to inspired action? Do I trust that life is supposed to be fun and I'm supposed to experience my desires? So you have to answer yes to those questions. So when you really understand that feeling good is the impetus to the desire manifesting, you will make every effort to feel good and to let go of negative beliefs and to implant new positive beliefs. And that's what we're doing throughout this whole program, is we're learning how to do that. Okay, so what's next? So I want you to remember that you think, dream, and create for you. You cannot think, dream, or create for anyone else, and no one else can think, dream, or create for you. So nobody knows what's best for you but you. But you have to learn about you to really get that. So your intuition is your big guide. Your emotional scale is a guide. So you want to tune into how you're feeling in relation to whatever you're thinking about. You want to tune into how your intuition plays in. And, that's a part of this program as well. Lesson 5, we really talk about intuition. I've been very blessed with a very strong intuition, and I've understood how to interpret it. And so it's guided me very, very well. So I can help you with that. So we are all here to experience our own paths. You are not responsible for anybody else but you. Now, when you have children, you're responsible to keep them safe to a point and to help them grow. And then when they get to a certain age, then you have to allow them to take the reins on their own life and do what they need to do. But there's a huge freedom in knowing that you're not responsible for making anybody else feel good but yourself. And nobody else is responsible for making you feel good but you. You are in total control of your thoughts and your emotions. So you're responsible for making yourself feel good. And you don't have to please anybody else. And in fact, you really can't, because the only way you could please someone 100% of the time is if you are both vibrating in harmony 100% of the time with each other. And that just doesn't happen because our thoughts are all over the place. So it's not your responsibility to make somebody feel good. So start thinking about your desires and your goals. Start working on the joyful expectation of those desires. So how do you do that? So think about how you felt when you were younger, when, if you celebrated Christmas. Think about Christmas Eve and how excited you were anticipating opening those Christmas presents the next day, or a birthday party where, your friends were coming and you knew you were going to get some really great gifts. That anticipation, just tap into the feeling of that. Or, planning a vacation that you really wanted to do for a long time and just thinking about what you're going to do. So just tap into the feeling of that anticipation and apply it to your desire. The feeling of desire is always joyful. Now, a lot of people think that desire is wanting something you don't have and feeling bad that you don't have it. That's not desire. Desire is always joyful. It represents the vibrations that are stretched out before you into your unseen future, preparing the way for law of attraction to match things up on your behalf. So this is why Bob always tells us you don't have to know the how. You really don't. You just have to get the feeling of it and the feeling of that joy and that anticipation as you're working towards it, and knowing that the path is going to open up for you. So as long as you can keep a consistent high vibration, and it's not easy, we're humans, we get pulled down, there's all kinds of stuff that happens to us, but the point is that you want to understand when you're being pulled down and then start reaching for that better feeling thought. You don't have to go from despair to sunshine and rainbows. You just have to go up to that next best thought and then continue the momentum until you can get back up into that joyful state. So law of attraction is going to take care of bringing the things to you based on your point of your point of attraction. So think about that. What point of attraction am I on? Am I on a hopeful, joyful point of attraction, or am I on a gloom and doom, everything seems to work out negatively for me? So you know by looking at your current results, that's the point of attraction you've had up to this point, whatever your current results are showing you. So if you aren't happy with your current results, then you want to work on your raising your point of attraction. And you do that by focusing on the desire with joyful expectation and feeling good. Now, if you have a goal that feels a little bit bigger than you're quite ready to believe, then take your focus away from that goal and focus on something that's easier to feel good about. We all have those things, you know, a favorite pet, our children, family, our loved ones, nature. There's so many things to feel gratitude and appreciation for that can raise your vibration. So if you're feeling low, focus on something totally different. Bring your vibration back up, then you can come back gently and focus on that thing again. And then understand that there are lots of steps along the way to feel appreciation for. So don't think that manifestation means that final goal. There are many manifestations all along the way. Every inspired thought is a manifestation. Every inspired action is a manifestation. Each person you meet that moves you in the direction of your goal is a manifestation. So start recognizing these little manifestations and then giving appreciation for them. Like, oh, I attracted that. You know, so you have a conversation with someone and it leads you into an interesting direction. Like my friend who asked me if I wanted to help officiate weddings for him. That was totally unexpected, but it was really a nice thing, because I had been thinking a couple of days before that, you know, I really would like a couple of new opportunities to do something that uses my strengths that I can earn money for, and that would be fun and interesting. And that was exactly what that was, that I manifested that conversation with him. So I gave appreciation for that. So anytime you focus on the small desires as they're manifesting into the big one, is keeping your vibration at that higher level. So when you don't feel good, what do? Well, the first thing to do is understand that all emotion is beneficial. So we cannot expect to always be joyful. We need to have some negative emotion once in a while, because that helps us to strengthen our desire or to reevaluate what it is that we're doing so that we can create in another direction. So just understand that a negative emotion is causing you to seek clarity, and clarity is a really, really good thing. So let the emotion be what it is, appreciate it for the clarity that it's going to bring you, and then start to reach for something that feels better. And you may not be able to do that particular day, depending on how low your emotion is. Just know that when you go to sleep, that lets go of resistance. When you're not conscious, your resistance is gone, and it allows you to be able to reset in the morning. So then when you get up in the morning, you want to reach for a good feeling thought. So gratitude in the morning is really, really powerful. Meditation in the morning is really, really powerful, because it allows you to set your vibration for the day right away. So the other thing is that you want to learn to be selfish. I know this is hard. We're taught not to be selfish, that it's a bad thing, but you have to deliberately align yourself, because when you're not aligned, you can't give the best of you to the people around you. So you have to be selfish enough to deliberately align yourself with that source energy, with spirit, with your desire, so that you can give the best of yourself to others. And if you haven't tried meditation, that's something to investigate. And I'm certainly happy to have a conversation with you privately if you want to learn a little bit more about it. It doesn't take a lot, just 15 minutes a day. And then also spend time in gratitude and appreciation every day. You know, if you can do it a couple of times a day, if you just want to take a gratitude and appreciation break and just stop and appreciate something around you. Like today, I stopped a couple of times just to watch the snowfall because it was so pretty. there are other connotations of snow, but watching it fall made me feel good. Shoveling, not so much, but it's okay. I appreciated the beauty of it falling. And then you want to be very deliberate in setting your intentions to feel good. So you want to remind yourself in the morning, it is my intention to feel good today. And then study thinking into results every day. The lessons in this program are designed to help you grow in your awareness and your capabilities. Those of you who have been through it already know this. Those of you who are just starting or haven't quite started yet, that's what you have to look forward to, is the raising of your awareness. And you want to follow the program, how it's designed, 45 to 60 minutes of study each day. It's not a lot. Study each lesson for 2 weeks, allowing that repetition to really raise your awareness about the particular subject that you're studying. You're going to have a goal card that you're going to put together in lesson 1. You want to read that goal card every day. Remember, that's allowing you to give that clarity to that spiritual side that's holding that vibrational reality of that thing for you until you can align with it. Program your subconscious with the beliefs that you want, the beliefs that invoke the positive emotions, and then always reach out to me with questions when you need a little extra guidance. That's what I'm here for. Really study the law of vibration and law of attraction. Anything you want is a vibration. Anything that you think or feel is a vibration. If you can match up those frequencies, then law of attraction is going to bring you together with what you need to make that vibrational reality a physical reality. And the fun is watching how it all plays out. When you really are in that joyful, expectant state and you're not worried about the timeline, when you see these little mini manifestations come in, it's so fun. It really, really is fun to experience that. Okay, so that's all I've got on here. I'm going to stop the share so that we can have questions. All right, how's everybody doing? Anybody's head explode?
Dee Dee, that was fabulous. You did great.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Liked it.
Yeah. So these can be new concepts. If you've not been aware of the universal laws and how they work with us, they're new concepts. But this understanding goes way, way, way back. I mean, universal laws have been here since the beginning of time, however you perceive that. But you can trace back these understandings all the way back to Socrates and even before, especially understanding the law of cause and effect. And, that's what the golden rule is do unto others what you wish to have unto yourself. You're giving in the way you want to receive. And that's, impression of increase is lesson 11 in this. But so Scott and Daniel, any questions on your end? Because you guys are new to this.
This is my first time doing this with you guys, and I thought it was really cool. I didn't even realize we were going to be talking about universal laws. And so I actually have read a really cool book, which I happen to have right here. If you guys ever want to check it out, is it backwards on the screen?
No, it's not.
It's called Understanding the Universal Laws. It's by Bruce MacArthur.
Mm-hmm.
It actually speaks a lot about what you've already spoken about, but it breaks it down into it's really good. So if you guys ever are bored, you want to read a book, it's called Understanding the Universal Laws.
Okay.
So thought I'd throw that out there.
Yeah, I actually never heard of that one, so I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah.
Cool. How about you, Scott? How are you doing? Is your head swirling?
A little bit. It was good. I'm a little tired this evening, but I should have drank some coffee later. But it was good. I mean, some good concepts. I'll have to think about them for a day or two, and especially pertaining to my situation you and I texted about yesterday. It was kind of interesting, how it could and could not apply. So I thought it was good.
Thank you. Cassie, are you still awake?
What?
Thought that was a sheep up there.
1, 2.
All right,
This
so-
lesson a lot.
What?
I've heard this lesson a lot with you being my mom. Probably the 30th time I've heard this.
Yes, but listening to hear is the same as listening to understand. So does it make sense?
Yeah, no, I like this lesson. I like the information, especially like with the like one of my favorite quotes that Bob does in one of his lessons is the you have to be willing. I'm screwed up, of course. It's the am I able and am I willing?
Yeah.
Because that's something that I used with goal setting when I was in Chicago is like, okay, am I able to do this and am I willing to do this? And it's kind of something that I've applied to a lot of stuff, and so I was like, when that's brought back into the lessons.
Cool. Any other questions?
No, but it's interesting that these laws that we really never pay attention to. I heard on the radio this morning while I was cooking breakfast that, or I came home with dinner today, that the radio plays in there for the animals. I heard that they said that they have figured out that opposites don't attract. Opposites attract. And they said, so they went through study after study with several people, and they said, so introverts like to marry introverts, which means there's a law of attraction. It's the same thing, but many years ago, whenever I first started listening to Brian Tracy, he said that you have to be alike in everything except for temperament. Because if you have two people who are angry all the time or stay angry, then of course, that's what I said to somebody one time. I said, why don't you ever get angry like I do? I said, because we'd be out killing somebody. So you have to have, there are certain differences that you have, but as an overall value, when you marry somebody or you have a mate, you're going to find that you are alike. And that's what the law of attraction does, is attracts those things that are alike. And I was just fascinated that they just now, 2019, are saying, okay, this is a fact. I'm like, this has been out there for a long, long time, but also in like the words that we use, like we were talking about earlier. That's what I said last week. The words that we use do matter, because that's what she was saying earlier, is that, it's hard and we don't even realize it. It comes so easy to get involved in saying, this is difficult, this is hard, rather than, okay, how can I get around that? And so like Bob says, the worst goal you can have is I want to get out of debt, because debt is a negative word, You have to, and it's so easy to include that in an affirmation or something, and we don't even think about it till we sit back and look, or somebody goes, "Oh, what's that?" So.
And I do remember him saying, if you have to talk about something negative, be very vague about it. Don't be specific.
Don't give it emotion. Yeah.
Right.
Emotion. You want your emotion to be on the positive things. Yeah. For sure. All right. Wonderful.
Yeah. But one more thing, like you were saying, also is that, when you start to do goal setting, when you start to do affirmations or you do anything like that, always think of something happy, something that brings you up to that level or to a level of happiness or excitement or a positive mode. Because if you are doing that and you're not in that positive mode, then you're attaching a negative connotation to it. Mm-hmm. Stay that way until you change it. So.
Yeah. So, whatever thoughts you have, whatever feelings you have are causing momentum. So the focus that you give for a certain amount of time gives it momentum. And so you want to catch yourself if you're going into negative momentum, catch yourself as soon as possible to shift that. You don't want it to gain so much momentum that it takes you down for the entire day. Now, if you get to a point where there's just no way of turning around, like I said, go to sleep, take a nap, go to bed, and restart. And it's okay. And just remind yourself, something's to be learned out of what happened today. It's okay. There is no wrong. I can't do it all. I can't get it all done. I'm just going to enjoy what I do while I'm here. And that's the most important thing is find that joy in something. So, okay. So next week, we'll start over on lesson 1. I know I touched a little bit on it today, but I'll go more in depth in lesson 1. And then same time, and just let me know if you have questions in between. If you need any help with anything, that's what I'm here for. And everybody have a wonderful evening. Stay safe in the north, stay cool in the south. And I'll talk to you guys all soon. All right?
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I,